Hi, thank you, Chris. Thank you very much for the invitation in this country. My name is Elsa. I work in Ambio. Ambio is an NGO in Mexico. Ambio working in different topics. Climate change is important, very important in the NGO. And we working with the program Esquivel. Mexico is a federal republic. We have 100 million inhabitants. Mexico is an emerging economy with high income levels. It's different the people in the country, in the city and the village. Is Ambio working in the community in Chiapas. This is Chiapas. Chiapas is southwest side, eastern of Mexico. This is a community where Ambio working in the project of carbon. The principal groups indigenous in Chiapas are Seltal, Tojolabal, Tzotzil, Lacandon, Chol, and Soque. This is group working in Ambio in the project the carbon market in different ecosystem, pine, rainforest, corn forest, rainforest, secundary forest. In the variety ecosystem agroforestry. I am Marco. Marco is the responsibility, the market, the carbon market in Ambio.
Thank you very much, Elsa. I feel in Uganda like I were at home. And just to clarify, I'm speaking on behalf of Elsa, as she is the expert here. She has a long experience in carbon sequestration activities. This is some of the story of the project. As has been mentioned, the project was initially financed by the Formula One, but it has also support from other institutions, such as the National Institute for Ecology, the ECOTRUST, which is a research college, and the University of Edinburgh. In 1997, the project began formally through a previous feasibility study, and the first work was carried out in 9 Maya communities of Mexico, and this is the Plan Vivo flagship project and the framework for the full development of the Plan Vivo carbon standard. Over the years, the project has evolved. It has some expansions in the year 2000 and the years 2009. The newest areas are high mountain areas and also rainforest and dry forest areas. This is a project that participated in a TV show to recognize the best social initiatives in Mexico. It won one of the semi-finalists acknowledgements. The project also won the National Prize for Forest Service in 2013, and this is the only project in Mexico with an international carbon certification. As Elsa told, this is the area of the project. It currently is distributed in more than 90 Mayan communities and non-indigenous populations in Mexico. As can be observed, we work especially to avoid the fragmentation of ecosystems. Our communities are very close to this kind of endangered ecosystems. This is one of the communities we work with. Those are Mayan populations living in the rainforest. These are other kind of Mayan populations in the rainforest. Are the trees pictured here are trees planted in 1997 when Chris worked to the project to know that those are real trees. This is one of the newest areas of the project, which is a high mountain ecosystem. It's one of the places that has one of the main nurseries for us. And this is one of the areas we are working. We received the visit of Ina. This is a pine oak forest region with non-indigenous populations, but very important to avoid the fragmentation of the ecosystem. And also, this is one of the newest areas which are canyons and caves. We are working now to start working there with funding from Conservation International and the Jeff. And this is one of the important areas for us, as this is a biodiversity hotspot, very important for preserving birds, mammals, plants. And these are the kind of forest management activities we carry on, which are improve fallows through the milpa system, which is a system for cropping. Also with Tangya system, which is intercropping with trees and food crops. Shade-grown coffee, which is one of the main, Mexico is one of the main coffee producers in the world. Also, we work with light fences. Those four are reforestation and afforestation and agroforestry systems, and we have something for avoid the land conversion and forest management, which is not reforestation, but it's to avoid the decreasement of carbon sinks. This is one of some of the impacts to date. The project is in a large area. That's the number of participants registered with us in 19 communities, and we are very close to reach 500,000 tons of carbon offsets in this project, and that's the equivalent in individual flights London and Tebe. We have also an important impact in terms of biodiversity, endemic flora and fauna conservation, the establishment of biological corridors, to be also the home for migratory birds. And it's important to point out that this is a project with a great forest biodiversity, using 25 deep forest trees species. All of them are local species. Also, the project has impacts in the issue of social organization, environmental awareness, capacity building, territorial planning, sustainable livelihoods, and climate change adaptation in rural communities. Those are our financial sources. The main buyer of Plan Vivo certificates is in Sweden. We have also some partners in the United Kingdom, in Spain, and in Mexico. Who are them? The Formula One, World Bank, and this other bank, and this local NGO financed the project some years ago. And these are one of the current financial sources, such as the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, a brand of vodka, the National Oil Company, and the Office of the President of Mexico also offsets with us. Our partnerships include IIT, the United States Agency for International Development, the Mutual Conservancy, Conservation International, the Ambio Foundation, then the Mexico Stock Exchange, and the National Commission for Forests, and the National Commission for Protected Areas. I will find the final slide. It's about the challenges of this project. This is a project with a long story, but it has also some points to attend. First, it's that, as can be observed in the map, we work in geographically dispersed communities, which is very difficult in terms of how we monitor the operating cost of the project and the evaluation of activities. Those are communities that are not one in front of the other. The other challenge is the small areas registered, as this is a project with a carbon standard focused on smallholders. It's one of our plus, but it's also a challenge, as the small areas registered are very difficult to be monitored from satellite images, so we have to visit the plots and count 3 by 3s and fill paper formats, which is it's good in terms of the participation of the community and the contact we have with the people in the plots, but it's difficult in terms of how we monitor the carbon sequestration. Another challenge is that even when we have a co-benefit of revalorization of local flora, fauna, and know-how, it's also a challenge, as the people usually don't believe in their own knowledge, and they usually think it's not important, they usually think it's something not enough worth. Another challenge, and it's maybe happens here, I don't know, it's the attitude of people towards reforestation, as some programs in the past promoted reforestation, but it was just about giving backs with plants with no further follow-up. This is one of the challenges we have in Mexico, as the people hear, reforestation, just I receive my bags, I receive my money, and that's it. But instead not. This is very difficult when we try to convince the people that this is something with follow-up actions. Another challenge is the short-term, another kind of economic activities that are short-term, which have more profit for the people, such as livestock, such as intensive agriculture. Also, we have a challenge in terms of the fiscal reforms in Mexico, as we are now enforced by law to ask the farmers to register in a fiscal registry to receive a receipt. So it's something not real in how the people in rural communities live. And another challenge for the project is the international perceptions of Mexico outside, as probably is perceived as a high-income country or an emerging economy, but the international community can see the great differences in Mexico in terms of poverty of the poverty of the majority of most populations and the richness of a small group. Well, that's it from me. Thank you very much for your attention, and if you have any question or comment, you can email me, or we're going to have a special section for comments and questions. Thank you. Well, finally, I would like to introduce Khalil Barker, who is from Canada, where he works in a project he's from Canada, but works in a project in Nicaragua, very impressive. Well, Khalil, please.